Actually, the city tour and the heritage tour have been around for quite some time. But this one, because you brought them to Tampines, so our Tampines hub, and you know our Tampines hub is quite new, right? Yeah, so this one quite new. And then we got Johor tour. Johor also quite new, right? Yeah, so those two are new.
Last year for sale, like this time. We have like 10 hours immigration time.
Oh, free Singapore tour. Oh.
Is brought to you by Changi Airport, and this tour is brought to you by the Singapore Tourism Board. Okay, so I will talk a bit about the airport, I'll talk a bit about Singapore, then I'll talk about the tour. Okay, so the airport. Now, some of you join me at Terminal 2 on the left, and then most of us meet at Terminal 3. Right? So in total, we have 4 terminals, and in the year 2019, before the pandemic, our visitorship passenger load was 68.3 million people. Okay, now we only have a population of 5.6 million people. So basically, within 1 month, more people have arrived in Singapore than the actual number of people on this island. Okay, now having said that, we are still expanding. So somewhere beyond, okay, it's been delayed by the pandemic, but they're going to resume building in 2 years' time, and then the target is to have it completed by the mid-2030s. Now, by then, the modest target is 135 million people. Okay, I don't know where those people are going to come from, but let's just say, you know, in 10 years' time, if I'm still healthy, I still got a job. Okay, that's the best deal of it all. That's still. Okay, and you can come back again and join my tour. Hopefully, there'll be more itineraries. Okay, now. So now a bit about Singapore. We are 1 degree north of the equator. 74% are Chinese like myself. Okay, 14% are Malays. Okay, because this region, indigenous population of Malays, because above us is Malaysia, below us is Indonesia. Okay. 9% are Indians, of which traditionally the Indian ancestors here come from the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. Okay, Tamil Nadu. So one of our national language is Tamil. When they say they don't have windows, it's all dark inside. And then at the back will be the common kitchen, and all the way to the end will be the common toilet. Okay, so such was the condition that people in the city area used to stay in the past. So something like this, maybe for example 50, 60 people squeezed into one shop house. Okay, so you can imagine the living conditions in the past were quite poor, quite unhygienic, and not very good for health. Okay, so obviously when Singapore turned independent in 1965, okay, one of the major criteria for the government is to build public housing, such as these that you see on your left and right now. Okay, so these are our Singapore's public housing. Okay, up to 80% of Singaporeans stay in this public housing. Okay, and out of this 80%, 90% actually own their flats. Okay, so we have one of the highest homeowners that provide all these basic amenities to the population. Now, question time. If I ask you to look at these houses here that you see on the right hand side now, how old do you think they are? 10 years old. Any more guess? 30 years? 40? Okay, so basically these came out sometime in the late 80s. So that makes it 40. Okay, do they look like 40-year-old flats to you?
40.
Some of them do. Okay, this one's don't, huh? So this one's don't. Yes, of course. Sometimes you get rusty over time. Okay. 2, the sewage pipes, because make sure that it doesn't get clogged and all that. In general, they will replace. That is new development housing right there. Okay, so that is coming as you speak. Okay, so in general, for every 20-25 years, there will be one major home improvement exercise. Okay, where they will literally come without cost to change the piping, the water and the sewage and those other things. So, for example, if your kitchen cabinet hides the water pipe, unfortunately, you have to change your kitchen cabinet. Unfortunately, okay. So for that one whole month, there'll be a lot of inconvenience because there's a lot of drilling and all that, so it's going to be very dusty. So sometimes people actually move to the hotel to stay for a short while. But all is good because by then you have a brand new system of all this, okay, to live for the next few years, 20 years. And also what they do is, because as we know, population is aging, so they also provide certain facilities to enable living slightly better for the elderly folks as well as the less convenient folks. So for example, wheelchair ramps for those who are wheelchair bound. Okay, and also very importantly in the toilets, handlebars, kitchen handlebars, and anti-slip floors. Okay, because we all know that most of the time at homes, one of the most frequent way of accidents is slipping in the bathroom. Okay, so they make sure that the elderly folks are taken care of. Okay, so in the housing estate, there is a requirement. So it cuts down the amount of traveling you need to do, long distance traveling you need to do whenever you need some service. Okay, so you will note that you see a lot of Singapore flags flying because this month, okay, and actually on the 9th of August, we celebrate our Singapore National Day. This is our 58th year of independence since 1965. So you will see a lot of flags flying. Okay. Would have been, I would say this would have been maybe close to 150,000. Okay, 40 years ago. Okay, one feature of our early public housing is always the clothing line. Okay, or what we call our unit. We grow vegetables, we grow fruits on that. But unfortunately, when we gain our independence, we have to move forward. We have to modernize and urbanize. So unfortunately, most people have to give up their farm. Okay, but one challenging thing about many cities now is old folks feeling lonely. So the children given up. So there is no commercial use for this, strictly for the community. Okay. Now, where's my token child? Now that hello, my token child. Okay. So that there's something holding children and folks. Okay.
Mama, hey.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
As you were going through the queues to go through the passport control. But yeah, they don't care anything about colour or anything like that. They were delightful. Yeah, but they were delightful. The parents on both sides were had a good laugh over it all.
Oh, you did.
Yes.
And now,
happy to have won this. Okay, and Princess Margaret, who was the sister of Okay, there are fans around here, not bad. Not bad.
Preparedness to take a shot to become the country's next Prime Minister. In the past, this tree grow in abundance in this part. Every store would have at least one or two dish that is venue avoids the so-called shopping crowd. So here you have more or less the sports crowd, the enrichment classes crowd, the students crowd. Okay, so that people don't have to travel all the way to the city area to go to their office. Okay, some of them they have their offices here, so make it easy. Okay, so what we're trying to do is to cut down all those traveling. Okay, because traveling increase, as you know, traveling increases your carbon footprint. It's something that we try to avoid. Okay, looking at the kind of weather conditions we have around the world. Okay, now one of the interesting questions that people like to ask, besides how much these houses cost, because with public housing they want to encourage family life. Okay, so you need to be married. So in the case of Singapore, we have this interesting. Okay, so right now what you see, this black color wall. Okay, this middle entrance and the remaining black color wall. This is now considered a national monument. It's a preserved site. But of course you can't visit because this is part of the prison. Okay, so normally this houses roughly about 1,000 inmates. Okay, but why I want to mention about the prison? Okay, so just now Singapore I mentioned, after World War I, British increased its military presence here in Singapore, and then we know what happened. Korea, Manchuria, China, coastal China, then Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, down to Malaysia and Singapore. Okay, so as they were coming down, the Allied forces in the region. So we talk about not just the English, but the Australian, New Zealand, Canadian, the forces. You can see this landscape is totally different from where we just came from. So where we just came from is very built up. This is totally different because in the past, this area used to be villages where the locals stay. Okay, so now it's become quite a different landscape. Okay, of course weekdays relatively peaceful. So these are also public housing, but of a smaller scale. Okay, so this was built in the 70s, okay, for the local population. Okay, so at the back there will be wet markets and hawker centers. So some of them actually converted to selling food stuff and all that. Okay. Now note that of course this layer.
Kami elit siya.
So in the past, of course, when things life is not so good, usually we take a long time to finish one biscuit. We have a beach, so many people come here to do fishing. Okay, so fish and tackle shop is common here. And another one is a bicycle shop. Bicycle shop because people we are encouraging healthy lifestyle, so many people are taking up cycling. So
Similar like sign to the restaurant is more.
Government is providing the facilities.
Ah, yes. Noodles. Oh, fishes.
okay. This is for my colleagues. They love this. I say, how come you don't buy enough biscuits, man? Yeah, I do.